off with investsteady.com. Welcome to my daily live, 7 o'clock, give or take. Depending, as soon as I get ready, I'm going live. I have a new setup today with the microphone. The other one was noisy, more professional setup than this, but it was introducing some kind of noise. And this one is pretty quiet. So welcome guys. If you are in Cleveland or pretty much anywhere else, it's pretty cold. It's cold today. Tomorrow is going to be even colder. This is a daily update on the weather. But today we're going to talk about 10 levels of wealth game. And the first one specifically, budgeting. Nobody likes budgeting. Well, some people like budgeting. Some people like numbers, and I'm one of them. So that's why I'm bringing to you this conversation about budget this morning. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whether you're on your way to work or you're working out and listening to me, I appreciate you joining me, and let's get to it. Budget. All right. So I believe budgeting is the first step in this wealth game, is because you have to know, you must know what do you deal with. You know, it's hard, it's very easy to say, oh, I can't afford buying a house when I have $1,000 car payment and I have hundreds of dollars every month going into credit card payments, for example, or student loans, you know. But this is mortgage right there, okay? And this is something that can propel you in building up your future. And that's why I think budgeting is very important. It's hard to sit down and plan your future if you don't know, okay, what can you afford? You know, if you're used to just spending money, oh, I need to buy this healthy food, you know, doesn't matter how much it costs. Yes, you will eat that healthy food, but maybe everything else will go out of balance for you in your life. And that's what budgeting helps with. Okay, so let's start by answering a couple questions about budgeting to start with. Okay, all right. Creating my first ever budget. Hello, I recently started my own practice after being in a 3-year contract as a therapist, getting a split taken out of what I bring in. With luck, privilege, and hard work, in 7 months, it has done extremely well. Even with my financial scarcity and adverse experience with money growing up, I am making enough money to create a budget. My partner uses the free version of every dollar and likes it a lot. My complaint about it, I would like for an allotment to roll over if I don't spend the entirety of it. And I would like to I would like to be able to more easily see how much I have saved up for each saving fund. Technically, ED does this, but every dollar, but not in a way that makes sense to me, nor have ease in setting it up. I was curious if anyone has any suggestions. Thank you in advance. Well, you might think, good for you to be a therapist and worrying about budgeting. But a couple interesting thoughts I had here. So, for example, she said, or I'm assuming it's a she, music guy, probably he. Okay. Let's see. I'm making enough money to create a budget. This is one of the biggest misconceptions of budgeting, and I've spoken to people before about that. One of my oldest tenants, that's what their excuse was not to budgeting. Oh, we don't make enough money to budget. No, you don't budget. That's why you don't have enough money. And same here. This therapist, saying now that they finally have enough money to budget, but that's not the case. Even if you make $5 a month, like I teach my 8-year-old, when I pay him for grass cutting or anything else, I opened a Roth IRA account for him last year. I tell him, okay, this is your money. Split it, 10% goes to God, bring it to church, 10% put into savings or investing in our case, and then the rest you can do whatever with, but he saving right now. So that is pretty cool to see. So I think that's a misconception that I don't have enough money, so I can't budget. You have some kind of money come in, unless you're an 8-year-old, maybe not. But if you're an adult, or even a teenager, you have some kind of money come in, and if you don't tell it what to do, then years later, you'll be like, okay, what did I spend all my money on? When I came to America for the first time, I was tracking every income, and I was making, I can't remember, $7, $8 an hour, cleaning hotel rooms, and I was tracking every dollar. Okay. Well, tracking by writing down how much I made. I did not track what I did with it, and that was one of my lessons in my upbringing, I guess, here in America by myself, is I looked years later and it was thousands of dollars. Okay, so even if it was $8 an hour and I worked full-time job, that was $16,000 that were spent. And for me, coming from Kazakhstan, $16,000 I've never heard of in my whole entire life. And yet here in America, they came and went somewhere. Okay, I didn't become richer. I didn't have a bunch of things that I could show for. The money went somewhere. Obviously, it was rent and food. It's not that much money to live on, but that was one of my early thoughts, thinking about finances in general, and I was like, okay, that's a lot of money. I could have bought a whole condominium back in Kazakhstan with this money. What happened to it? And that was a good question. So, water break. And that's when I start thinking that, okay, money will pass. I need to think of what I'm doing with finances. Yes, when you make $8 an hour, your margin would be much smaller, okay? But there could be margin, or if there's no margin, you know what your money is doing and where you're sending, what you're prioritizing, so that when you are all worked up and stressed and you're like, oh, okay, let me go get some M&Ms, let me get some beer, or whatever people do when they stress spending, or outfit. Those are the things that happens to us if we don't pay attention. All right, so back to this therapist. They asking specifically more about Every Dollar app. I'm not a big specialist on the app. I actually had it. I had a free version, then I had a paid version for a year, but it was just extra money for me to spend, that it didn't give me that much value. Okay, but my partner, enough money, likes it a lot. Complains like allotment to roll over if I don't spend entirety of it. So from what I understand about Every Dollar, they basically teach to budget every month. Okay, so every month is different. You budget for this month, and so this allotment that, okay, I didn't spend money for my gas on my car, right? I have a little bit left. Let me transfer it over. But what they say basically is every month you create a new budget. Okay, maybe you spend a little more this month on this category, or you have this expense coming up in next month, so you can build for that. You can adjust for that. Every month would be different. So that's, from what I understand, it doesn't do that. Okay, but the main point of creating a first budget is this: look at what's coming in. Okay, it's not an excuse anymore. You can access all your numbers online. Okay, you can and should know what's coming in after tax. This is how much I bring in. Okay, this is how much I bring in every month, or every paycheck, twice a month, 4 times a month, whatever it is. Okay, and then you see, okay, this is the amount coming in. I need to work with this amount if I want to get ahead. Okay, yes, if I don't want to get ahead, of course, I can go and get payments. I can go and get down payments and see, oh, I can afford $100 down payment, I can buy a TV or I can buy a car or whatever. So building a budget it's very important to help you get ahead, to see what is the margin between what you bring in and what's going out. Okay, when you do see that, then you can adjust. Okay, this is how much I spent on food, on groceries last month. Okay, let me eat maybe less out and put that money into achieving my goals. Okay, let's take a look at the second question from Reddit. Do you need a budget? Okay. Are budgeting apps necessary for being financially responsible? I've tried a few different ones over the years, but it always feels like life gets in the way of these being accurate. Some have helped me for a few months, but throw a month in there and it's hard to categorize, and I'm thrown off my budget completely. So, no, you do not have to have apps. Okay, but depending how you process information, apps might be easier than spreadsheets, than writing it on the paper. But of course, there's advantages of writing on the paper. You have your mechanical memory, your visual memory, and you think, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. And the goal is not to budget to have control over you, but you have control over your finances. That is the main goal. Okay, so whatever works for you, use that. If apps don't work out, and use something else. Use envelopes. Okay, that's an idea. That's old. Okay, you pay all your bills out of debit card. Okay, out of your checking account, but discretionary money that you can spend every month. Okay, besides your bills and everything else that you do, like getting gas, for example, in your car. You need to do that. Use a card for that, debit card. But have envelopes. And okay, I can spend, this is my pocket money, we call it in our family, that I can spend this month. Okay, let me get that $100, put it in the envelope, put it in your wallet. Okay? And you go to the store like, oh, I feel like buying M&Ms. Peanut M&Ms are my favorite, so I keep going to M&Ms. So I'm going to the store. Okay, here's $100. Do I want to buy M&Ms? Yeah, I have $100. Okay, it's $3. Let's get some M&Ms. Okay, at the end of the month, you have $5 left. Do I want to buy M&Ms? Maybe not, depending on who you are and what you prefer. But this is a one way of spending actual cash. That hurts more when you swipe. You have no idea what's your budget there, what is your limit basically on what you can spend, or what's your amount that you have in your bank, and it doesn't matter, let's just spend. So whatever method, it has to work for you. It's not for me you're doing this, it's for you to get ahead. This is the first level of wealth game. Okay? This is your base. This is your foundation. If it sucks, the rest is gonna suck. Okay? Of course, it may not be the thing that you do to do the budget. It might be your discipline or lack of. It's not easy. It's not easy to wake up in the morning and go to the gym. It's not easy to track all your expenses. At some point, I have a spreadsheet on my phone I have access to all the time. And so what I would do, after every purchase, I'll just go there and say minus such and such for gas, for groceries, for whatever I was doing. I would do that every time. Okay, and then of course it gets tiring, and I'm always constantly working on the way that's gonna work for me and my family to figure out budget, so we can see, okay, this is how much we know. So we have goals. We don't just do budget to restrict us. We have goals. All right, let's say I want to buy a new car. Well, not brand new, but new to me. Okay, I don't buy new cars because they drop the value very fast, and my net worth cannot support buying something that expensive that drops in the value so fast. For example, a rental property, not gonna drop. It likely is gonna go up in the value. So I like that. because it grows my net worth, and car does not. So if I know I need to replace my car in 5 years, let's say, okay, and I want a $10,000 car. Well, now we can work backwards, okay? $10,000 car, all right, divided if I need to put away $5,000 in, $10,000 in 5 years, okay? That's easy. That's $2,000 per year, okay? So that's about $200. In $200 of savings a month, you can save up $10,000 in 5 years, okay? And people don't understand that. It's much better to do it that way than when you give payments to a car dealership, because you now have introduced the risk into your life. What if you can make payments this month? Then what? Okay, there's the risk like that. Also, you are in control of your finances and you're not paying interest to anybody. So it's the cheapest way to have a car. Okay, save up. You can plan easy for that. And this is how you do it. This is how you budget. Okay, I want to go on vacation every year, and it's going to cost my family $4,000. Well, it's almost $400 a month that I need to put away for that vacation. Okay, do I want it? If I make $3,000, maybe $400 a month is going to be too expensive for me. Yes, I want Caribbean. I like to go scuba diving there in the nice warm weather and seeing octopi, or octopus, which is both, octopus and nursing sharks, or maybe big great shark. I do want to do that. Can I afford it? Maybe not. And this is where you can see the picture of your finances. And one of the biggest words that we people in the United States do not understand is, well, a phrase: I can't afford it. Nobody's talking about that. I can't afford this. I deserve to go on this vacation. I deserve me a nice, good car because I work hard. Do you? Well, maybe you deserve something, but can you afford it? I don't know. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Ooh, forgot to switch from the screen. All right. Struggling to budget. I have a problem. I have ADHD and forget to budget. What can I do to help me budget better? Well, I've met some people before that have ADHD. Maybe I have it. I don't care. In a way, of course, obviously, it's a serious thing. You know, I'm not trying to make light of it. But it's not helping you to say that, oh, I have ADHD, I can't budget, okay? But this helps you. I forget to budget. Okay, what can you do? What can I do when I forget things? I put it on the calendar, okay? I budget my time, okay? On such and such day, I'm going to go take care of this, okay? I have properties now. I have properties now, and I need to take care of them. You know, sometimes I need to go and fix things. Okay, somebody complains that they're recently, what was it? The hot water tank is not working. Well, what do? I go and I fix it. Can I go today? If I can, I go today. If I can, I go tomorrow. How do I remember about it? I put it on the calendar. That is how. It works for both, for ADHD person and non-ADHD, okay? But I don't like when people use that as an excuse not to do something that is right, okay? Because I remember all these kids with ADHD that play games hours on end. They don't forget about them. They don't get bored. They don't get distracted, okay? So that tells me, is it ADHD? They can't focus on something, or is it they enjoy something versus they do not enjoy something? Okay, if I don't enjoy something, yeah, I want to get distracted from it, of course. Again, not to criticize and say that it's not a thing and it doesn't exist, but you know you have it. Okay, let's figure out a system, how to do it. I was one time, I was going to say I was losing things when I was young. I was not losing things. I lost one thing one time. and I got in trouble from my dad. And I figure out a system. How do I never lose things again? Okay, I put the same things in the same pockets every time. I do not worry where they are. Okay, I've seen people lose their debit cards or their wallets in public places. For me, it was easy. I grabbed my wallet and I never put it down anywhere except in my pocket. That's how I avoid that. I never lost anything. Not because I don't forget things, but because I created a system that prevents me from doing that. And same thing with the budget. Create a system that reminds you. Is it alarms? Is it daily alarms? Okay. Again, if you're playing games, you're not going to forget that you have a 6 o'clock game with your buddies, after work. You're not going to forget that. Why? Reminders. You're more excited about it. Get excited about this because this affects your future, especially if you're a young person. 20 years from now, you can have you can be still paying for your choices, or you can get paid for your choices. It's one of the phrases I learned here, and I like it a lot. Okay, some people go on vacations, and then for years they pay for that vacation. And some people buy something that brings money, and then they get paid for years. And I like that. Okay, so maybe not strategically good advice about how do I not forget to budget. It's everything. It's why you do it. Figure out why you want to do it. If you want to do it to save up $10 here and there, it's not gonna help you to stay focused. But if this is one of your goals, I do budgeting because I want my business to succeed. That's gonna be different than I do budget because somebody told me or my mom wants me to do it. I want to succeed. I want my business to grow, and I can't grow business without knowing what's coming in and what's going out. There's a lot of people who own businesses who are ADHD, okay, and they make it work. All right. If you're just joining us, welcome. This is Vladimir's Workday Daily live stream about finances. Okay, invest steady, compound your net worth. Man, I like that. I like to look at my net worth, and I see it growing by itself. Not me going punching in, punching out at work, but it's growing. It's just mind-boggling. Anyways, okay. So how to start budgeting when you have no idea where to begin. Hi everyone, I'm new to personal finance and honestly have no clue how to start budgeting. It feels overwhelming to track all my income and expenses, and I don't know what tools or methods to use. Could you share some simple, practical tips on how to create a budget that actually works for beginners? Also, what common mistakes should I avoid when I'm just starting out? Any advice would be super appreciated. Okay. Water break while you're listening somebody raving their engine. Okay, how to start budgeting when you have no idea where to begin. Okay, so one of the times imagine you have 50 incomes coming in. Imagine you have many budget line items that you need to deal with. That's gonna be harder than you have one income and few expenses. Like the budget we were looking at on one of the previous streams. It was very simple. There was investments, there was expenses, food, groceries, rent, phone bills, stuff like that. Then there was 401ks, Roth IRAs, investments, stuff like that. Okay, so don't make it complicated. The more complicated you will make it, the harder it will be for you and less enjoyable. Okay? Figure out, okay, what is coming in? What am I doing? What the finances that I have that will help me, that will, let's look at what's coming in so you can know, okay, this is my job. Do I have a second job? Okay. Do I do some side gigs? That's fine. Okay, and then I take a look at everything that's going out. I like to separate it in a few ways. This is what affects my family. Okay, this is the needs. Okay, I need to live somewhere, food, cell phone I need, maybe internet, maybe not so much, depends. Okay, if you can afford internet, by all means. These days, your cell phone has internet, plenty enough. Okay, and then you look at things that you don't need, that you want. Okay, my Starbucks. Okay, coffee every day. What else do I want? I want to go out somewhere. I want to eat out once a week, every day, whatever. You look at all the expenses, and then you separate them into must-haves. For example, if I need, that's the game I like to play. Okay, this is how much minimum do I need to survive for me and my family. Okay, if you're single, just for you, how much do you need? Okay, you figure that out. Okay, from there, start build or add other things. Okay, I need to, maybe I need to have clothes, maybe I need this much every month to go towards clothes so that I can buy, some of it. And this is how you can structure it, needs and wants. And then from there, you can see, does what coming in matches what's going out? Do I have more coming in than goes out? Like that guy, his budget was great. Okay, it was very good. I don't know if in real life that's the case or not, but whatever he put on the paper was excellent job. It's very simple, very clean, very easy to keep track of. Okay, when you have other miscellaneous things that you can't keep track of, where you use cash maybe here, cash there, it's hard to see. But what you can do, one of the other simple advices that I can give you when you're budgeting right now, if you already had several months of expenses, look back at your bank statement and see, okay, how much did I spend? What did I spend it on? And just write it all down. Not what I wish my budget was, okay, but what actually you did spend for the last 3 months. And from there you can build on it. Okay, you can change something. Oh, apparently I used hundreds of dollars on beer. Is that something that lines up with my goals? Nope. If it's not, maybe I need to adjust that. Or maybe I don't drink enough beer. Apparently I only spend $20. I should app that up. Up that up. Then do that. So these are the things that you can do to help you budget. Okay. And then from there, you need to periodically look at it, see how much you spent, okay? Or you can, again, most of the things there will be already in your bills, for example. This is more or less after a year, you know exactly how much your bills are. Your cell phone, your heating, cooling, potentially your electricity, gas bill, stuff like that. Your rent is going to be the same. It's going to go up probably every month, but you can plan for that, and you already know what it's gonna be. You can only adjust those things that are not monthly, that are not something that you need to survive. Okay, you can go and eat less out, buy more groceries. Okay, it's gonna be much cheaper per meal or per how much you eat than if you go out. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the next question. The camera is about to die on me. I'll have to reset it. Okay, what's the hardest thing about budgeting? So I'm having a few pain points with budgeting my income. I don't want to go into too much detail, but I earn about $3,500 per month, and I'm struggling to budget this down to individual items. I know how to budget per se, like assigning a job to each dollar and stuff. But the amount of work involving in tracking all expenses seems to result in my losing interest and the budget failing. Does anyone else have this problem? How do you solve it? What software can you recommend or method to try? All right. Maybe you use too many Maybe you spend too much money. Maybe you so many different purchases a month that it's harder for you. Okay, maybe consolidate that. Maybe simplify it. And again, it's hard. It is hard for everybody. This is a matter of why you do that. Will you do it long term? Okay, if something is not working as you planned, see what you can adjust, see what you can make different. This is something that is in your hands. Yes. Sometimes it's something distracts you, okay? Let's see. Working tracking all expenses seem to result in my losing interest in budget failing. Make fewer categories. Okay, let's say I know somebody. What's happening? Maybe camera turned off. All right, give me a second, please. We're still on this question. Hardest thing about budgeting. All right, we're back on. Hardest thing about budgeting. And the question is about losing interest after tracking all these things. Separate them into categories. Okay, must have, even 3 categories. Must haves and then want. That would be 2. And then 3, I do giving, we give to church. So that could be a separate category altogether. This is how much I gave. This is how much all my bills. Okay, this is how much I discretionally spent. And then from there, see, okay, is my category, if I'm overspending, what I plan to do or not. And if I am, maybe I should make some changes. Okay. All right. Let's see. Next question. Struggling to manage expenses. Ooh, this is a good one. Struggling to manage expenses in New York City on $3,500 a month. Looking for budgeting advice. Well, this is gonna be interesting. If you make $3,500 in New York City, maybe move away to Alabama or something that's cheaper. This is crazy. I'm trying to figure out how to make my monthly income stretch further in New York City, where costs can add up quickly. I earn $3,500 a month after taxes and live in a shared apartment, but I'm finding it hard to save money. Okay, so I've been to New York several times. It's a fascinating city. All these things that you can choose with budgeting, they should reflect what do you want. Okay, you want to live in New York. Why? Okay, you want to come across wealthy people, build some networking, and then build a business or some kind of influencer thing. New York is obviously going to be easier, potentially, not easier, more opportunities in New York than Cleveland, Ohio, for example, But if it's not your goal and let's say you have parents there, well, you can move somewhere, all right? And then that $3,500 will stretch much further. Like even in Ohio, rent an apartment will be around $1,000. Now you have $2,500 left, okay? You can make it as an adult. You can definitely, as a single adult, you can definitely easier make it there, here in Ohio. Okay, let's keep going. Especially as food and entertainment are big variables in my budget. Well, food could be less variable if you cook all the time, right? Now, entertainment also is not a big variable. You decide where you go and what you do for entertainment purposes. You don't have to go out all the time, every day. I mean, you probably can with this budget, with this amount that you make. Here's a breakdown of my fixed monthly expenses. Good start. Okay, so 780 shared apartment. Electric, $75. Holy moly. This is how much I pay for a house full of kids. Internet, 27. I guess I don't know prices in New York, but even that. Credit card payments, 362. Okay, imagine no credit cards, no payment. Phone bill, 192 for 2 people on T-Mobile. What? So unlimited Metro card, $136. Okay. Well, phone bill, change the phone bill. Change. 2 people, I don't know why you have 2 people. Hopefully you don't pay for two. If you are not, then you shouldn't have put 192. You should have put, what is it, $86. 86 is ridiculous. On top of the 27 you pay for internet, that's $100. You can have cell phone service for much less than that, and you have internet there. Again, unless you're gaming. Is it worth it? Maybe not. Maybe you stop gaming and get a second job. You have more money and less wasted on internet. Anyways, getting down off my soapbox. Let's see what we have here. We have 780, okay, plus 75 plus 27 plus, I'm not gonna count credit cards for now. Phone bill, one. Okay, let's do 86. This is a ridiculous amount. Hopefully it's not for just him. He is paying that, or she is. And transportation, 136. So it's $1,000. $1,000 a month on must-haves. Okay. My main concern are food, entertainment, as I tend to eat out more than I should and frequently go out for activities. These expenses quickly add up and I end up running low on funds before the month ends. I do try to cook at home to save, but food is still a large portion of my budget. I'm also considering taking a second job to increase my income, but I have had trouble finding flexible evening hours that work with my current 9-to-5 jobs. I have applied for several places, but many require shifts to start earlier in the afternoon, which conflicts with my primary job schedule. I am looking for advice on budgeting tips to reducing food and entertainment costs. Okay, so here is the tip on reducing food and entertainment costs. Don't spend on entertainment costs. Don't go out that often. If you go out, bring some water with you, hang out with friends. You don't need to buy coffee all the time. Okay, you don't need to eat all the time. You can eat at home and then go out, hang out with your friends. Nobody's forcing you. This is your choice. Maybe there's peer pressure, but you don't have to do it that way. Okay, I currently make 62 a year at my full-time job, which offers good benefits, including 100% 401k match. Okay, this is not whole information. If you put $20,000 into it a year, they're gonna match $20,000 a year. There should be some kind of limit of 3%, 6%, 100% up to 6% or something like that. I don't want to lose this job, but I'm struggling to save up with the cost of living here. Okay, it seems like you want to live there, right? And that's okay, but you need to understand, if you live there with this income, this is the result you're gonna get. Okay, there's only a few things that you can adjust. Like I said, I would adjust internet, cell phone situation. I would pay off all the credit cards. So that's right there. So 80, it's about $400 at least a month on credit cards. Okay, cut them all up. Just using the money that you have and not you wish you had. And then decide, do you want to stay in New York? It sounds like you're having fun there, but fun comes at the cost. Okay. Maybe you have some kind of seasonal jobs. You ramp it up and work in season, say for New Year's, Christmas, FedEx or UPS or something like that. And then you kind of eat through that money throughout other seasons. Okay. And then in the summer, you start another job. It's hard for me to believe that in New York City, there is not enough jobs that will work with your 9-to-5 and you can start second shift. Keep looking. You can do it. You can do, but you can't decide. You can't be just, oh, I can't save up money, and then you go out all the time and spend the money. You have to make choices. And this is one of the choices. Yes, if you go out all the time, you're not gonna have that much money to save. Now, into your 401k, I would not recommend put any money into 401k, even they match 100%. Get out of the credit card debt first. Okay, save up emergency fund. First, you budget, of course, and then you put 15% of your income into retirement. Only then. Okie dokie. Moving right on. My software not working very well. Doesn't look like it. Let's see. Is it actually... Am I still live? Looks like I'm live. Budgeting. I put thumbnail budgeting, and maybe that's why nobody is here. All right. I budget without actually budgeting. Does this method work? I don't know. Does it work? Let us know. I've always budgeted this way, and it takes no time or forethought from me. People say I'm really good with money, but I never spend time on spreadsheets or apps. I'm curious why other people don't use this method. Ooh. Well, I don't know, of course, what's going on yet. We're going to take a look in a second, but the only way I can think of that happens if you make way more money or spend very little. Because then you have money on all your expenses, you being very frugal. And that's why it works for you. Okay, then you have surplus all the time. But still, you know exactly where everything is going, then there's no questions after. So basically, I take my income, subtract my regular bills, any savings I want to do, which leaves my variable expenses. I only have one credit card, so as long as I don't spend over the remaining amount, I'm good. I don't really think about it at all, other than looking at my credit card spending amount a few times a week for 5 seconds to make sure it doesn't go over the limit. See, even here, you basically saying that you don't know. You don't know until you look at your credit card to make sure you don't go over the limit. But where I'm right now, for example, I can easily be in my budget because all my bills are automated. They automatically get paid. Okay, we're not doing any extravagant. Most of the stuff that I'm doing, it's all the same, so it's not changing. So I don't need to look at my budget every day. Lately, I start taking out cash from my pocket money, and if I have something in the wallet, I can spend it. If I don't have it, I can't spend it. It's very easy. Same thing. No, not much thinking calories that are involved in that. And so let's keep reading. So basically, okay, we read that. Here's my personal example. After 15% 401k, health insurance, etc., I have $7K a month in New York City. See, different example. I save $600 a month for my Roth. Save a month for my Roth. I hope you don't save it, but you invest it every month. $400 a month for travel, and $2,300 a month on rent, utilities, etc. I also pay my parents $700 a month to help them out. Paid $20K for college and other super generous. College and are super generous. You would put any regular monthly bills here, car payment, student loans, payment, etc. This leaves me with $3,000 a month to spend on everything else. This includes food, transportation, fun things, clothing, medical costs, etc., etc. All I do is every few days I stare at my credit card app and make sure it's not close to 3,000. I never categorize anything, and it's super easy. I never plan anything. Well, a couple things. Of course, you do not plan anything. You probably live by yourself. You are a single person. which is a benefit. Okay, and it's much, of course, it's an advantage in this way that, again, a few things you have. You probably don't spend or budget money for diapers. You don't budget for anything, but you don't have bajillion categories where now your 7,000 divided even to more slices, and then it's easier to overspend here and there and everywhere else. Again, if it's working for you, it's great. It looks like you put some money away. I would stop using credit cards, but that's great. Working for you, it is great. It might not be always as simple as it is, but keep going. My only financial planning is each quarter, 6 month, or whatever, I stare at my investments and savings to see if everything works. This takes me like an hour. If I had an emergency, I add an emergency fund saving goal and reduce my whatever budget. If I needed to buy a car, etc., I do the same. Very good. I've always wondered why people categorize their budget and spend so much time financial planning, but maybe I'm not considering some things. I'm privileged. This has worked for me when I was in college and only had 15K a month, 1,500 I should say, a month, 750 rent, and now here's my college budget. There you go. I usually made 15,000 during the summer internship, which I dumped towards student loans. During school year, I made 1,500 a month, tutoring 10 hours a week. Parents paid my first year tuition, which was 20,000, but I was on my own for expenses and the rest of tuition. Graduated with 10K of student loan debt, 700 rent, 30 health insurance, student fees, 20 phone, 100 savings, life insurance, life emergency, 100 travel savings. My whatever budget was 800. So that means I had 500 to spend on food, clothing, fun, 50 bus rides home, school supplies, etc. Whatever, which was plenty for me as a college student. Well, you definitely a more organized person in college. And here we looked at two different examples of budgeting in New York City. The person who prioritized their retirement, their savings, okay, then they prioritized the main things, must-haves, monthly, rent, food, stuff like that, and then from there they figured out, okay, the rest is whatever. That's one of the ways of making those big categories in budgeting. Another way would be to say, okay, I want to save, let's say, for a car, and I want to buy a car in 1 year. Okay, I want to buy it for $12,000. That makes I need to put $1,000 away every month, so I can have a $12,000 at the end of the year to buy that vehicle. Okay, so you can do it this way. Okay, what's come in? Okay, I need to put $1,000 for a car, and everything else, I live on everything else, no matter what. There's several ways of doing budgeting. Okay, like this is my goal. I'm gonna hit the goal every month, and from there I'm gonna live on the rest. Okay, that's an option as well. That's what this person in doing the other way. Okay, this is everything that I have to spend every month, and the rest is my discretionary. Several ways. Whatever works, do that. Whatever gets you to the goal, whatever gets you to the first step of wealth game. Now I know what's coming in. Now I know where it's going out. Now I can plan the rest. Okay, I can pay off my debts. I can protect my family if I'm married with kids. Okay, and then this is it. This is the way of building budget. All right. And if you are completely overwhelmed with creating a budget, I'm 36 and going through a divorce. I have full custody of 2 elementary age children. I have debt from marriage, and I also have terrible spending habits. I recently got a job that will pay gross $82,000 a year. Great. Not bad for my educational background. Okay, very good. I do want to learn to be better with my money. I try to use Bank of America app to budget, but it's confusing. I downloaded YNAB, and again, I'm overwhelmed. I'm not sure what that is. I'm never able to create comprehensive budget, so I give up and my spending habits come back. I shouldn't be living paycheck to paycheck at this income, but here we are. Can anyone help me start the process? There's a lot of information on the internet. Okay, there's these questions. The people reply to this. Let's see. Somebody suggested, try doing it by hand. Create a spreadsheet and start with your income broken down by source. Then total your income and start with your rent, car, power, etc. And list everything, every expense. Okay, so there is so many ways to do it, but you have to do it. You have to do it. Nobody else can do budget for you. You and your spouse, if you're married, need to do it together. Sit down and see, okay, this is what our goals are. This is what we make. This is what we spend. This is what we can do without. Or this is what we should adjust to have more for that. You can do it. Take all this information. Ask ChatGPT. Look at the other videos, previous videos, how you can budget. All the tips and tricks. There are some of them. All right, and another one last. I'm going to close with this one. Finally realized why budgeting is so hard for me. Tips on projecting income. I always give up on the budgeting because the first step is always the most frustrating. I have no idea how to calculate a monthly, yearly income. I work 2 jobs, both of which are hourly, and my schedule changes month to month. One of my jobs is cash in hand. Some of the time I work at the farmer's market and I get cash commissions on how much I sell. I don't really understand how taxes, savings, whatever works, but I know hours worked and hourly rate doesn't really equal the amount I take home. Any tips or websites that help with these calculations? I'm really starting to get tired of my own financial habits and I need somewhere to start. You can do it. With variable income, it doesn't matter. If you, for example, 2 options, right? If your money coming in with your paycheck on your bank account, well, for previous month, you can see how much you made. Easy. You can track your cash. Okay, this is how much cash I got. Okay, very simple. Write it down on a notebook. You can write it down in your phone. This is how much I made last month. Okay, the next month, try to live off of that. The next month, now you have average between 2 months. Okay, if it's lowest, beautiful. Set your budget on the lowest income, and then everything surplus of that will go towards your goals, whether you're getting out of debt or you're putting out money into retirement. You can do budget based on the previous month. You know, there are ways to do it. You can do it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time. Hopefully you made it fine to work. My work is about to start here, so I'm going to get going. Appreciate your time. Remember, invest steady, compound your net worth.